Brian Cashman, I've been waiting to cook you, you son of a bitch. You lying son of a bitch. You are no longer fit for purpose. Our general manager is no longer fit for purpose. At the end of the season, he has to go. He has to go. He has to be fired. There is no ifs, ands, or fucking buts. He's got to be fired. This is it. He is a waste of space. He's a lying gas bag, and he's completely and utterly incompetent. He's completely incompetent. He is no longer fit for purpose. What a lying son of a bitch gas bag. In June, he says, oh, catching was clearly a problem. Clearly catching position is an issue. Fast forward to when he strikes out at the deadline today and he goes, oh, we got quality catchers. We're quality at catching. You're a lying son of a bitch gas bag because you're useless at your job. That's the facts. He's completely done. I'm so sick of people boosting this guy up. He is a fucking liar. And he's entirely incompetent. Completely and totally incompetent. You look at that state of that bullpen. Look at the state of that bullpen. That's because of Brian Cashman. You couldn't find one reliever? Not one? Not one reliever? You couldn't find one fucking reliever? Where the fuck were you shopping? You couldn't find one catcher? Not one? You have the worst catcher in baseball. You have the worst catcher in the last 60 years, and you couldn't find one catcher? You are a lying gas bag who is no longer fit for purpose. It's done. It's an abomination. It is finito for Brian Cashman. It is done. And I don't want to hear any excuses. Oh, it's a difficult market. He created that difficult market because he did shit all in the winter. He made it impossible for himself. You expected teams to lie down and give you great quality players? You expected that? Didn't deserve any grace. He did nothing in the winter, left positions completely vacant, and then when it was time to address them, he was competing with teams like the Red Sox, the Rays, etc., all across the league for the same positions and lost every single one. He deserves this. He is no longer fit for purpose. We have a fully operational Death Star. You are a liar. You are a liar. Fully operational Death Star. It is the fully dysfunctional Death Star. And it's been dysfunctional for a long time. Let's be honest about it. This has been dysfunctional for a very long time. And it's actually taken this trade deadline implosion for it to be real, for people to finally come around to this. Because I know there's been a lot of people holding out hope, forlorn hope that Cash God was going to wake up. Cash God is done, man. It's no longer hyperbole. It's the truth. He just is no longer fit for purpose. He's no longer an elite level GM. I don't even think he's even a mediocre GM anymore. He's been mediocre for a long time. I think at this stage, he is below that of a mediocre GM. You're unable to find a reliever. You're unable to find a catcher. You're done. Finito, cooked. You couldn't find any upgrades across the infield. And he's a lying gas bag about that as well. Oh, we had a high bar. We have a high bar to clear this infield. Are you fucking kidding me? High bar? Jazz Chisholm? That's not a high bar. He's a chaos. You couldn't find an upgrade there? Ryan McMahon, home run aside tonight. Chaos. Useless. Disaster. You don't even want to play him most of the time. Austin Wells, one of the worst seasons in 60 years. You couldn't find an upgrade there? Oh, great. We've got three first basemen and no catchers. That's great. High bar. You're a liar. I'm sick of the lies. I'm sick of the gaslighting. I'm sick of the delusion. I'm sick of the hubris. I'm sick of the arrogance. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him. It's got to end. At the end of this season, it's got to end. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to see him extended. It's done. It's finished. And when this season ends, mercifully, at the end of this season, it's got to end. It's got to be done. Finish it. Finish him. Let him walk. It cannot happen. He cannot extend his contract. When the Yankees do not win a World Series this year, and they will not, trust me, then it's done. He's got to go. Let him walk, and let's rebuild this organization properly. The only blessing to this complete clusterfuck of a trade deadline is that Cashman didn't give up his prized assets in order to chase something that was never going to happen. That was the only blessing. The only blessing to this disaster of a trade deadline, and don't get me wrong, it's a disaster. The only blessing to it is he did not give up guys like Lombard, guys like LeGrand, guys like Spencer Jones, etc. ERC for something that was done, because this thing's done. Best thing that could possibly happen is a new GM walks in the building at the end of this fucked up season and starts from scratch, because that's what needs to happen. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear, he just needs to, he doesn't need anything. He's done. He doesn't respect people's windows. He doesn't respect the championship window, and he just doesn't respect what it means to go all in. It's done. It's finished. Finito. We do have a super chat. We got my guy Jacob in the building. What's going on, Jacob? $2 super chat. Donald, my guy, love the Garcia deal. Ramos as well. Jacob's positive. All right, my deadline is C+. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I can't give him a C+. Are you kidding me? It's a D-. The Garcia deal's good. The Garcia deal's good. Ramos, what, you want another platoon guy? A platoon outfielder? And you've given up 2 major prospects for a platoon outfielder? I'm sorry, I can't give that praise. I mean, he's fine. He's fine, and he's controllable. That's okay. But frankly, it's a bit of an overpay, I'll be honest. And Garcia is a square peg in a round hole. But he's gonna be good. Don't get me wrong. He's gonna hit a bunch of home runs, but Ramos, he strikes out a lot. He hits for power, strikes out a lot. Isn't a very good fielder. I'm sorry, it doesn't really move me. Certainly not for 2 major prospects. But yeah, I'll give you that. But frankly, the major things we needed to attack was catcher and bullpen. And he failed massively. You could have, if you got in a second baseman that could field his position, or a third baseman that could field his position, you moved off of Volpe. If you moved off of Wells, excellent. But you failed. You failed to do any of that. Exactly, Lou. Don't worry, guys. We got bullpen help today. Yeah, we did. That trade. The trade deadline itself was a complete disaster. It's a disaster. I cannot say it loud enough how disastrous it was. You could not find one catcher anywhere. What's good, Celia? Donald, if you saw Cashman's comments today, it seemed like he didn't know if Judge was coming back. So I'm assuming he probably didn't want to do much because this team ain't winning without Judge. Yeah, he was very political with his answers, and I completely understand that. And as I say, that was the only blessing to this complete disaster of a trade deadline, is that he didn't chase something that was never going to happen. I mean, that's why, I was in the minority. I was not like that focused on this deadline because I already knew this thing was cooked. I knew this thing was cooked even before we got to even before we got to today, this thing was cooked. Having said that, when you have a rotation like we have, and to let it down so severely where you don't have a bullpen and you don't have a catcher and you don't really have any everyday right-handed power, you're a disgrace. And it's a fireable offense. When you got a rotation like Cam Schlittler, Garrett Cole, Max Fried, Rodon when he comes back, you got that. You got a closer like Bednar, and you cannot fill out the rest of your pitching staff, and you can't put together a lineup that is even league average? How dare you? I have to be honest, how dare you as a general manager stand there and try and pretend like you tried really hard and all the market and blah, 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 blah. The Red Sox got it done. The Rays got it done. Heck, the Blue Jays had a better trade deadline than you, Cashman. The Cardinals had a better trade deadline than you. Every team had a better trade deadline than you. I think the Pirates had a better deadline than you. Teams managed to get it done. What did Cashman do? Absolutely jack shit. So with or without Aaron Judge, he had to either shit or get off the pan. And there is no strategy here. So I guarantee it's going to happen because he always says this because he's just a lying scumbag. But at the end of this season, he's going to say, I love our process. Really happy with our process. He says it every single year, and there's no basis for it. That's why I keep saying he's a lying scumbag. He's just a politician. He's just a politician. Unfortunately, a lot of people buy it. I've long since seen through him. He's a shyster. He's a shyster. He's a used car salesman. And to be honest, he's deeply unlikable. He's actually detestable, but he's incredibly unlikable. And I think most teams don't want to even talk to him, to be honest. I don't think most teams don't want anything to do with him. There's only a handful of teams that'll actually discuss trades with him because he's so difficult to work with. And you wonder why Jeter, and you wonder why A-Rod, and you wonder why Posada, and you wonder why a whole handful of ex-Yankees want nothing to do with the organization. It's because of him. He is a detestable, arrogant gas bag, and his time is long since gone. It's long since gone. You go through it, man. It's been years of this. It's been decades of this, guys. It's been decades of this. You can even go as far back as 2010. 2010, I can go back as far as and say, oh, you let Hideki Matsui, the World Series MVP, walk, and you brought in Nick Johnson? That was your big move? That was your big 2010 move. Oh, no, Javi Vasquez. Not once, but twice. Great work, Cash. And that was just decades ago. The Kagawas, the Carl Pavanos, the Jared Wrights. The Josh Donaldson trade. Denny Nagel. It's been non-stop. There's been so many more failures than successes since 2010 for Cashman. It's done. The Josh Donaldson trade. How about passing on a Matt Olson trade where all you had to do was give up Anthony Volpe and you didn't want to do that? You could have had Garrett Cole way before free agency if you just gave up one of your prize prospects who you never made use of anyway because your process sucks and your system stinks. Oh, you pass on a Luis Castillo trade to get Frankie Montas. How did that work out for you? It never ends. It never ends. And we have to put up with this. I'm not putting up with it anymore. You could have had Corey Seager and you stuck with Anthony Volpe. You kidding me? You could have made a trade for JT Realmuto. Instead, you're sticking it out years ago, and now you're got no catchers. You're sticking out with Austin Wells. You don't know what you're doing anymore. You're done. Your process is cooked. Finito. End of. There's been so many situations. We don't need Bryce Harper because we've got Aaron Hicks. I've given him a 7-year extension. Are you out of your mind? This has been going on for so long. We extended Luis Severino without even looking at whether he needed to get an MRI, even though it was quite clear that he did. Didn't give him an MRI, extended him. Ended up missing the next year because I actually didn't need surgery. You didn't check that. Your process is cooked. It is done, man. Remember when we brought in an entire medical team that were like from a health spa, and then everybody got hamstring injuries and groin injuries? Everybody. And then Cashman lied saying, it's something to do with the medical team. It is, you fucking idiot. And how's Aaron Boone working out for you, Cash? Oh, it's going great, bro. I remember it. I remember during one of his swoons a year or two later, after you brought him in, and then you said, "Well, we made our bed with Boone. We just have to lie in it." I heard you say that, and I'll never fucking forget you said that. You lying gas bag. And now you're saying that he's the greatest manager, and he's so great, so fantastic, and you love him. Oh, blah blah blah, bullshit. This guy can't manage out of a paper bag. You see what he did today? Fernando Cruz came in when you're down by 6 runs. He kept Yarbrough out for that extra out to go up a triple. Then brought in Chiavelli to get fucked. Then kept Chiavelli out there to get completely fucked. And then it was only when it was 13-7 that you decided to put in the reliever you should have gone with in the first place. You can't manage out of a paper bag, Booney bubble boobios. You are useless. Brian Cashman is the reason for this, guys. It's done. He is finito. He is no longer a functioning general manager. He survives off his own hubris, and I am sick to death of his shit. Sick to death of his lies. I am sick of it. And I'm cooking this asshole. I'm going to cook him for a good hour tonight. I'm going to cook this motherfucker like he can't be cooked before. That dude is going to be extra crispy, Brian Cashman, by the end of this fucking podcast. I guarantee you it. Jade Martino, Brian Cashman is the worst GM in sports. Thank you. He is. In terms of arrogance, absolutely. They let the Red Sox get Adley Rutschman, one of the best catchers on the market. It's unacceptable. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. It's not acceptable in the least. And you see some of the excuses that comes out of Cashman's mouth. You wonder how he gets away with these excuses. We do believe we have quality catching, but obviously the offensive side, which has been a struggle for our team overall, made us certainly shop in that aisle. There's a new quote for you guys. Oh, certainly made us shop in that aisle. Where the fuck were you shopping if you couldn't find anything? It was a thin market of opportunity. Liar. You liar. We had many conversations with Baltimore, but were unable to meet the price, so they did their business elsewhere, and we kept grinding through it. No, you didn't. You gave up. At the end of the day, there was no opportunity that existed for us. Shit. There was limited opportunities in the marketplace. What? You're a liar, man. You are a liar. The Rays upgraded a catcher. The Red Sox got Rushman. You just failed. There's no limited opportunity. You failed. It's as simple as that. You couldn't make a match for any catchers in the league because you have the worst one. You have the worst catchers in the league as it currently stands. You have the worst one. So you couldn't find anyone. And then via entire vast landscape of Major League Baseball, you couldn't find a single catcher. Then you're no longer good at your job. Then you're not good at your job and your scouts suck. How about that? Mike Fishman is a jerk and he's useless. And you couldn't find a single catcher with every analytic at your disposal. You have scouts and you couldn't find a single catcher available, even in a platoon, better than Austin Wells. You're a liar and you're useless. Oh, it certainly made a shop in that aisle. Clean up in aisle 5. We have a bald general manager that just pissed himself in aisle 5. Clean it up, please, because he's fucking useless. We may not even make the playoffs. Regardless we make the playoffs or not, I think we probably will. But I would not be surprised if the Red Sox overtake them. I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees finish third. The Red Sox are a better team. God damn, they're better managed. And I pretty much say the division's done. Heck, even if they win the division, it doesn't mean shit. But there's too many people that try to big up Cashman. Like, there's nothing to big up anymore. It's done. Aaron Boone is excited about the Yankees trade results. You're a liar. You left Cheville out to die in order to make a point about your shitty-ass general manager who refused to give you any bullpen help. There's too many lies going on in this organization. Heck, even Ian O'Connor says, oh, there's no reason why the Yankees couldn't go to the World Series. Are you out of your mind? They have 3 first basemen. They have no catcher. They have a maniac playing second base. They don't have a shortstop as it stands. Their third baseman sucks. Trent Grisham, their $23.5 million center fielder, is a fucking idiot. And they don't have a bullpen. And they're going to go to the World Series? Give me a frickin' break. There is no excuse why Brian Cashman even has a job. He should be fired right now. He should be fired right now. It's very frustrating, man. It's very frustrating. Cashman is too scared to make the big trade. Aaron Boone gets excited by dry toast. Dude, he gets excited because his little puppeteer has his hand up his ass. That's what he's excited about. He's excited because Cashman's hand is up Aaron Boone's ass and he loves it. There you go. Fucking clip that, motherfucker. Seriously. Unbelievable. Aaron Boone's a lie. They're all useless. Let's be honest. They're all completely useless. We need to clean house at the end of this year. I really don't care what happens the rest of the way. This is unacceptable. You cannot run in. I know I'm going nuts right now, but I am so frustrated. You can't run an organization like this. So arrogantly. So dysfunctional. Imagine having the arrogance, the unmitigated gall to say, we are a fully operational Death Star. That's so arrogant. How dare you be so arrogant and so out of touch? Fully operational Death Star, dude, the Red Sox are better than you. The Rays are better than you. The White Sox is having a better year than you. You can't even compete in the National League. What a fully operational Death Star? Are you kidding me? The Dodgers wiped your stupid asses. The last place Blue Jays cooked your ass last year. Cooked them. Fully operational Death Star. And by the way, the Blue Jays had a better deadline than you, and they're in last place. Last place. They managed to sort out the market. They had an idea, and they're in last place. What's your excuse, Brian? What's your excuse? You're too busy lying to fans. That's what you are. You're too busy trying to get your PR sorted. That's what you are. You're too busy with that shit. He is the mecca of bullshit, Jade. Facts. I wanted Arise. I didn't understand why they couldn't put together a package for Arise. God, Jonathan, he was the early bird. The Death Star already exploded. I don't know what comes next. Exactly. The Death Star is done, man. The Yankee Death Star is cooked. Finito. It's just mere atoms in the freaking solar system now. They're not operating at any level. Their hubris and PR is elite. Now that element of the Death Star is cooking. Freaking Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine of PR. Oh yeah, they got that down. The PR is out in force. Aaron Boone saying, "Oh, I'm really excited about these trade opportunities. Oh yeah, really excited." Brian Cashman, "Oh yeah, fully operational Death Star. We're ready to go. Oh yeah, we're primed. We got a championship caliber team." He literally said that. And Cervelli gives up 100 runs. I couldn't write it. It's just chef's kiss. Stevie B in the chat. Good. Jonathan, Death Star exploded. It's time for the apprentice to become the master and get a new GM, please. Please. Cashman said there was nowhere to play. Right, exactly. But yeah, Ramos fits. Yeah, we got 3 first basemen. We got 3 first basemen. We got a righty outfielder that's going to compete, I guess, with Dominguez and Jones, I suppose, and Grisham, and figure it out, I suppose. Gave up 2 top 13 prospects for this guy. All right. Guy can't field his position. He strikes out too much. Okay. Am I supposed to wave pom-poms for that? We're back, baby! Yeah, fuck off. Fuck off. Not saying he's a bad player. He's a good player, but it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like 2 square pegs and round holes. Okay, not nearly enough. But even if those were 2 good moves, which you can make the argument that they were, certainly Garcia is. The fact that you couldn't move off of Volpe, the fact you couldn't get a better, at least somebody that could compete with Austin Wells and Ali fucking Sanchez. You couldn't find any catchers, and you couldn't find at least one bum ass bullpen arm. When you're trotting guys out like Cervelli, who's literally through batting practice. If Cervelli through that same pitches that he did tonight in the home run derby, Ben Rice wins the home run derby. Ben Rice would have hit about 60. home runs in that home run derby if Shivili was throwing to him. Those changeups were literally just sinking right down in the heart of the plate, and it was boom, 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 boom. It was outrageous, hilarious. Oh no, we didn't need a bullpen, guys. We don't need any bullpen help. Chase Blackburn, Paul Blackburn, who gives a fuck? Somebody Blackburn. He sucks. They all suck. It's mind-boggling. This pathetic GM had all winner exactly. It is an utter disgrace. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Like, how is he allowed to do this? How is he allowed to get away with this? How is nobody overlooking the job that he's doing? Now, let's be honest here. This is what he did, this trade deadline, okay? He got rid of Camilo Doval for bullshit. 12 months after, he gave up a ton to bring in Camilo Doval. That was a complete disaster. So he was just trading away someone that was a complete disaster. Jake Bird, he traded Jake Bird 12 months after he gave up a ton to bring in Jake Bird, who was a complete disaster. Jake Bird was cooked when we acquired him last year. Cooked. Everybody knew he was cooked. Cashman did absolutely no homework. Brought him in. And he got lit up like a freaking bonfire. And then he had to be demoted. Then he was brought up, and then he got lit up again, and then he had to get demoted again. And round and round and round we freaking go. All right, so he just traded away two guys that he just brought in last summer that were complete disasters. How is no one overseeing this? What was his third move? Ryan McMahon. He doesn't even want to. Aaron Boone doesn't even want to play him regularly because he can't freaking play regularly. He's a platoon third baseman. Great job, Cashman. The only reason why you couldn't trade him at this deadline is because no one wants him. It's done. Thank you, Jake. It's a horrible, horrible deadline. Fans should stop going to the games. There has to be an element of protest. I don't know how, but some kind of protest needs to be done because this is unacceptable. Unfortunately, I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible to. I'm trying to think. I just don't think that it's possible to protest. Because unfortunately, the players are right. Yankee Stadium is just basically kind of like a hangout now. It's a hangout and it's a tourist trap. So, like, yeah, there's still diehard fans that are pissed, but they're few and far between. And if they don't go to a game, that doesn't matter because Joe Schmo, who just wants to hang out with his buddies and drink beer at the Delta Suites or whatever, and drink cocktails or whatever, and have fun with their on dates or whatever, or their corporate retreats. I mean, they'll fill out the stadium. So like, there's not going to be enough that's just going to like do a walkout or a protest or put signs up. But something has to be done. I just don't think that there's loud enough of a protest in order for Hal to take notice. Hal's in Europe somewhere, or Tampa, wherever he is, he doesn't care. But there needs to be a protest loud enough for it to reach the ears of Levine and Hal. There has to be. So everybody watching, and even everyone watching afterwards, we have to think of a way to protest. We have to. There has to be an element, there has to be some way in which we can protest this. Because, yeah, exactly, Lou, you're right. The city's too big. This is a tourist trap. It's too much of an attraction. There's no way in which no one's going to show up to a game because, for the reasons I stated, it's a tourist trap. And God bless them. Why not? But it is what it is. It's a tourist trap and it's a corporate hangout. And it's a place for buddies after work or after college to go hang out, drink a couple beers, and kind of half watch a game. But there's no atmosphere at these games anymore. It's done. There's apathy everywhere. You can definitely sense that. There's no like a real energy. No one's excited about this team. There's nothing to be excited about. So this is done. But as I say, I don't think there's enough people that are angry enough to mobilize and come up with a way to protest. But there has to be something we can do as a fan base because this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable that we're in this situation where Brian Cashman has completely obliterated Aaron Judge's window. He's obliterated it. He's destroyed it with his own arrogance. Garrett Cole's window, that's pretty much closed now as well. What was the point in signing Max Fried? When are you going to have a team competitive enough for Max Fried? What was the point? You know what I'm saying? What was the point? There's nothing here that can win a championship. What's the point? You beat the Dodgers? Give me a break. You couldn't even beat the Dodgers freaking B team. You're not beating the Dodgers. You're not beating anyone that comes out of the National League. And that's even if the Yankees make it to a World Series. And I'm pretty much guaranteeing that they don't. Tampa and Boston are better. They just are. They're better managed. They care more. And they're far less incompetent. And they do not have this arrogance and this hubris and this unlikability which the Yankees are riddled with. They are so unlikable, this Yankee team. Wells, this goofy asshole, smiling like he was smiling throughout this game. Down 13-7 like he won the lottery. Big smiley face. I'll tell you why he's smiling. So because somehow he survived and he's still the starting catcher for the New York Yankees, despite having like a 500 OPS. No wonder he's smiling. He's unlikable. Jazz Chisholm, probably the most unlikable Yankee I could name since Josh Donaldson. He's just the lollipop stuff and the yawning and just being a moron. He's unlikable. Volpe is an untitled, sniveling little prick that he is. Unlikable. Trent Grisham, lazy asshole. Unlikable. This whole team is unlikable. Truthfully, it's the truth. We need to get nicer characters in here. Evan, I am raging. I am raging. I don't know about you, man. I am raging. Haiti. How Baba Booey does not care, bro. I know. Exactly. Yeah, this is a great point. Jake's cooking here. Boston and Tampa didn't even need catchers. They both went and got the second best catchers on the market. How do you sit back and do nothing when you have the worst production in the league at catcher? Exactly. You can. I mean, you've absolutely summed it up here, and keep it on the screen so that because it's so articulate and it gets the point. I'm swearing and freaking going nuts here, but that's absolutely what the case is here. If you need Adley Rutschman, to take you over the top. You got to get him, especially if the Red Sox want him. You got to do what it takes to get him. If that's what you felt was going to take you to the next level and was going to make sure that you finish above the Red Sox and would help you in the division over Tampa Bay and help you in this window for Aaron Judge, you got to get it done. You got to get it done. But you failed. You failed. There's no excuse. No excuse for that. You couldn't make it work make a deal for Tyler Stevenson? You couldn't do that? No? No possibility there? All right. Goodman? No? You had no prospects that could make a match for Goodman? Okay. There was not a single catcher in all of baseball. What about the Rays getting Hicks? You couldn't get Hicks? There's no way that Cashman is honest and he said that there was no market opportunities. He said there was no market opportunities. When the Red Sox, when the two teams competing for you for the division got two catchers, and you're saying there was no market opportunities, you're a liar. He's a liar. It's as simple as that. He's a liar. Complete liar. Jack Curry says Lombard is coming up. Oh, fucking great. Thank you, Haiti. The Yankees that we love died when George the Boss passed. It is. It's truth. And I can't get over it. Volpe down for Lombard? Question mark. I don't know if I'm supposed to be excited about this. Like, nothing could possibly make me excited. Like, there's no reason for me to be excited. We don't have a bullpen. If we don't have a catcher, what am I supposed to get excited about? You're making a panic move to try and turn the fan base around by bringing in Lombard in a situation which is on fire right now, and I'm supposed to be cheering on Brian Cashman. He's a lost general manager, and I can't even say it clearly enough. He's a lost GM. I think this is a panic move for a panic GM that's completely lost his way. He's lost his way. But as a matter of interest, let's check it out. What a disgrace. Yeah, George Lombard being promoted to the majors. They are in full panic mode. They are in full panic mode. Do you guys not see what's going on here? Like, I know we're supposed to get excited about Lombard, but do you guys not see what's going on here? The Yankees are all about PR. The Yankees are all about PR. The Yankees are getting cooked right now. The Yankees are being laughed at all over baseball. All of baseball is laughing at the Yankees right now. They are cracking up, right? Cashman is getting ridiculed from everywhere. Cutter is king. The Twitter account, which is pretty hilarious. I don't care, Red Sox fan or not. Hilarious. He's cooking Cashman. He's cooking Volpe. He's cooking the entire Yankees. He's having a great time, right? Baseball's laughing at the Yankees. Even Talking Yanks is done with Brian Cashman and his ridiculous lies and excuses. Even people that normally hold water for the Yankees are cooking the Yankees. Joel Sherman, for instance, he's absolutely lambasting Brian Cashman right now. He's been lambasting them for hours. He has been cooking them. And I'll tell you what, the Yankees are all about PR. That's all they care about. They don't care about wins. They certainly don't care about losing. They do not care about Aaron Judge's window. And trust me when I say this, they do not care about us fans. Do not care in the least. They do not care about us fans, okay? They do not care. But what they do care about is their image. They care about their image. They want to make sure that everyone still thinks that they are the fully operational Death Star, when in truth, they are actually the fully dysfunctional Death Star, but they want everyone to think that they're the operational Death Star. So let's turn things around. They've just got absolutely tattooed off the St. Louis Cardinals, 13-7. Their general manager just took a massive shit all over the organization, right? And now they're in save face mode. Okay, so their save face mode is they're calling up Lombard. That's the truth. That is the truth. They are all about PR. And it's sad, man, because they're just about they could just make the same mistake as they've been making for all the previous prospects. A lot of these prospects, they need some time to develop in the minor leagues when there's no pressure. They work their kinks out, and then they're fully ready. But the Yankees sent up an undercooked Dominguez, and you see what he looks like now. They've called up an undercooked Anthony Volpe, and he's a laughingstock. Called up an undercooked Austin Wells, and he's the worst catcher in baseball history, statistically. Over the last 60 years, no one's had a worse season than Austin Wells this year. This is what the Yankees are doing to their prospects. They are annihilating them. They are annihilating their prospects. Within an inch of their lives, annihilating them. Peraza is in friggin' Anaheim. And Duhar, where is he? In Pittsburgh? God knows. Where's Florio? Don't know. Where's Clint Frazier? He's a podcaster. He has a Yankee podcast like me. This is Brian Cashman's system. And I'm supposed to get excited and wave pom-poms for this organization. This organization is on fire right now. We have to be honest about it. This organization is on fire. And we have to mobilize as fans. We have to mobilize. Because this is not acceptable. Brian Cashman is not fit for purpose. He's a liar. He is a liar, man. He is a liar. He said in June, well, catching is certainly an issue, right? He said that in June. Yeah, catching is certainly an issue. Fast forward to August, we've got quality catching. Are you supposed to buy? Am I supposed to buy this politician? He's just, that's all he is. It's all PR. It's all PR. They don't know their ass from their elbow, and it's all lies. It's all lies. No, I think Lombard's fantastic. I love George Lombard. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, I don't like the fact that the Yankees are calling him up in a shitstorm. I don't think how that actually helps him. And I said that this morning. And I know I came across quite negative when it was actually pretty positive and made a good deal at the time. for Garcia, fine. But I said, nah, it just feels like a square peg, round hole. And I said, it feels like they don't really have a plan at catcher. I bet they don't bring in Rushman. I did predict that this morning. Didn't I say that? I said they're not going to bring in. They're not going to bring in. They're not going to bring in Rushman. I said that. I thought they'd maybe get Stevenson. But I'm amazed and appalled they didn't find any catchers. But anyway, they're a lost organization. But going back to my point about Lombard, I'm really hesitant about calling him up this early because this infield's on fire right now. It's in a state of flux. Okay? And there's no leadership in the locker room. There's no leadership in the locker room. There's no Aaron Judge here. There's no Stanton right here, right now. So, who's their leaders? Bellinger's injured. There's no leaders right now to help Lombard bed in. And who's his infield partner? McMahon, who plays a couple times a week, is a platoon guy. Okay, I suppose. Jazz Chisholm? That's his double play partner? Jazz? The laziest, most insane goofball you're ever going to freaking see on a baseball field? That's his double play partner? I don't want to learn anything off Jazz. You actually do the opposite. Everything that Jazz does, do the opposite of what Jazz does. Okay? That's not someone that you want to learn off of. And then there's 3 first basemen, 2 of them below average defensively. Okay. And then the catchers are all disastrous. Freaking Jesus Christ. Ali Sanchez, Austin Wells, give me a break. Again, Uncle Tats is a better catcher than Austin Wells. So this is the situation. Is that a good situation for George Lombard to come in? This is a bailout move because Brian Cashman is lost. Brian Cashman lost and he failed at the trade deadline, and he's just trying to save his ass and save the PR and try and save the season by calling up a rookie to save it. He's lost, man. He's completely lost. Haiti, just gaslighters. Thank you. However, big move is made. Thank you, Jonathan, for this while I'm ranting. Per Jack Curry, the Yankees are promoting George Lombard to the majors following tonight's game. The Yankees option Cheville. Brilliant. Jason Dominguez. Wow. Anthony Volpe. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Cheville was your setup man for the last couple of weeks. Who's coming in this time? This bullpen's a mess. Dominguez, it's the right call. Dominguez looks awful. Dominguez looks terrible. And Anthony Volpe, goodbye, you fuck nugget. I can't stand you. That's a good thing. It's good that we don't have to look at Anthony Volpe again. But what are they going to do here? What are they going to do here? Caballero's been hitting a bunch of home runs, by the way. He's finally held on to the shortstop job. Where's he going to go now? Is he going to be platooning with Rosario and McMahon for third base? Where's Caballero going to play? He's finally getting hot, and then you can get rid of him. All right, whatever. Okay, who cares now? So this thing's fucked anyway. Volpe, the gaslighting that they've done for this kid, and then they just send him down. It's pathetic. This organization is pathetic. I guess, If you want me to be waving my pom-poms for this, listen, I'm not arguing any aspect to this. Chiavelli, bomb. Dominguez, he's failed. Anthony Volpe, fuck you. Fuck you forever. So listen, I don't hate any of that. But I really don't buy the real reason why they're calling up Lombard this early. They're doing it because they are in chaos and they're panicking. I don't think you would have seen this today had they not completely struck out at the deadline and got completely tattooed, lampooned, and embarrassed by the St. Louis Cardinals at home. This is a panic move. Chevy had an ERA under 1 a week ago. Yep. Exactly, Tats. This is a clown show. Shavili hadn't given up a run until he had through batting practice today, and he's suddenly gone. It just feels like they're in constant chaos mode. They're in constant reaction. Brian Cashman is such a reactionary GM. It's always a reaction. Everything is a reaction. There's no proaction. It's always reaction. So I know I spent 57 minutes coming up with every swear word for Brian Cashman, but that is the most articulate I can put it. Brian Cashman is always reactive rather than proactive. He doesn't foresee shit happening. He's always just constantly in a state of this ship is taking on water. Quick, where's my duct tape? Quick, where's my PR guy? It always feels like they're always in reaction mode. How did they not foresee that catching was going to be a problem last winter? How did they not foresee having multiple left-handed catchers was going to be an issue? How did you not foresee that? How did you not foresee that Stanton was your only right-handed power bat? How did you not foresee that was going to be an issue? How did you not have any backup at DH for him when he was always going to go in the IL? How did you not foresee that this bullpen really needed some serious surgery? How did you not foresee any of these things? When lowly podcasters on small podcasts call it out instantly and manage to foresee all this stuff. But Cashman, who's paid millions upon millions to do this job, he can't foresee shit. How is that possible? How do you not foresee that Anthony Volpe was going to struggle this year? He's been struggling for the last 3 years. How did you not foresee that he was going to struggle this year? He just doesn't foresee anything. So he's constantly in reaction mode. How did he not foresee that Ryan McMahon was going to play to his career numbers? 220 hitter, 210 hitter, strikes out 1,000,000 times. How did you not foresee that? How did you not foresee that Jazz was going to be a massive problem when he's gallivanting around the world saying, I'm going to hit 50 home runs and I'm going to get paid $35 million a year, blah, blah, blah. How did you not foresee that he was going to be an issue this year? He doesn't foresee anything. So now he's in reaction mode because he waited until the trade deadline to address the needs that he should have dealt with in the winter. He's trying to do it all now. Failed massively, struck out entirely, and now he's like, quick, right. What can save my ass? Lombard's going to save my ass. Just like Volpe he used Volpe to save his ass a couple of years ago. That didn't work. He's using the prospects for the wrong reasons. He's using them to save his ass for his own incompetence. Volpe was his get out of jail free card because he passed up on Seager and he passed up on multiple shortstops in free agency and via trade. Passed up on all of them. Held off Volpe in massive trades, including one for Matt Olson. He could have traded Volpe for Matt Olson held him out of everything. So it had to work out. And it hasn't. It's been a disaster. But is there any consequence for these disasters? No. No consequence. No consequences at all. There's no consequence for Brian Cashman's failure. And his failure has been going on for years now. Annual failure. So I'm sorry if I'm not waving the pom-poms because I'm excited about Lombard coming up. I love Lombard. But I'm scared of what the Yankees are going to do to him. I don't think it's a good environment for him. I think there's a lot of pressure on him. I think this fan base are going to be like paying attention to him now with eagle eyes. If he struggles coming off the bat, then woe betide him and woe betide this organization. And it's not fair on him. The best thing they could have done is to leave Lombard at least until another month, at least. But they are just in self-preservation mode instead of what's best for the organization. All right, Duran disagrees. Interesting. Okay, I'm not sure that he struck out. Oh, come on. I look at the package the Dodgers gave the Tigers for Skubal versus what the ask was for the Yankees. I think Cashman just passed. It's nothing to do with Skubal, bro. This is about catcher. This is about bullpen. Skubal, I said in the earlier podcast, I felt that was collusion. I think it was already planned that he was going to be sent to the Dodgers. He was going to win another championship with the Dodgers, and then the owners can use that as an impetus to get a salary cap. I said that before. Nothing's going to change my mind on that because I can't imagine nobody beat the offer that the Dodgers had on the table for him. They were focused solely on sending him to the Dodgers. I can't imagine the Rays and the Yankees and the Red Sox wouldn't have found a package better than what the Dodgers sent out. Two little sisters of the poor for Tariq Skubal. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. River Ryan or whatever his fucking name is. Give me a break. We could have beat that. So that's not the example. Catcher is the example. Why did you allow Tampa Bay to get Hicks? Why did you allow the Red Sox to beat you for Adley Rutschman? That is the example. Why did you not address catcher when you needed to address it in the winter? Why are you leaving it to the trade deadline to address massive needs? Because the Yankees, as I've been saying, Duran, you can testify to this. I've been saying this for months, that Brian Cashman has no leverage in these negotiations now because every team worth of salt knows that the Yankees have no catchers. Brian Cashman had no leverage in negotiations at this deadline because of his own incompetence. Because he failed to foresee the problems in the winter because he was too busy. He was too busy telling the fan base, my system is fantastic. This team is great. I defy anyone to tell me this isn't a World Series caliber team. I don't need to do anything. You fans are ungrateful, blah, 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 blah. He spent far too long. Boasting about giving A-Rod and Derek Jeter a piece of his mind. He was far too busy with that shit. He was far too busy with PR rather than his job. I am not forgiving him for this trade deadline. When you leave positions vacant and then try and attack them at the trade deadline, when 75% of the league is still in it because of the expanded wild card, then and so these players that you're competing for, there's at least a couple of teams that are trying to get the same player. They're going to beat you for that because Brian Cashman's scared to give up major prospects. This is what happens because he has no leverage and nobody wants to help the Yankees. Why would anybody want to help the Yankees? No one wants to help the Yankees. Cashman is very difficult to work with. He's very difficult to negotiate with. Everyone knows that. That's a fact, right? So there's not going to be a whole bunch of teams knocking on our door going, "Oh, we have to be negotiating with Brian Cashman." They'd much rather the Dodgers get these players, repeat, than use that as an opportunity to get a salary cap. They don't want to help the Yankees, and why should they? The time to fix this team was the winter. So no, I'm sorry, Duran. Cashman struck out. He had to bring in a catcher. You're telling me that Austin Wells is having one of the worst seasons in the history of the Yankees. You couldn't find one catcher in all of baseball. You couldn't find one catcher in AAA in any system around the entire major leagues and minor leagues. You couldn't find anyone that's an upgrade to Austin Wells, then you're not good at your job. And that's just catcher. The Shivili situation. Shivili was your setup man for the last couple of weeks. He has one bad outing and he's sent down again. Why? Because Brian Cashman's reactionary. He's embarrassed. He's embarrassed. He knows that everyone's looking at him as an incompetent GM, so he's in panic mode. So he's just trying to placate things right now. He's trying to win the PR battle. Well, I'm going to cook his ass. Exactly, Tats. Exactly. Reports were the Tigers sought out the Dodgers for a deal. Thank you. Exactly. Is this team about to collapse? Whether they collapse or not, they're cooked. The Yankees calling up Lombard is like taking steak off the stove that you think is medium rare, but still frozen on the inside. Good analogy there. The Rays got exactly. Hicks was there. You could have gotten Hicks. Brian Cashman said there was no market opportunities. He's a liar. That is the biggest point, Donald. All teams want to stick it to the Yankees in a trade. Well, I'm sorry, you're as a general manager who's been here for 20 odd years, you should know that. You should know there's going to be a Yankee tax. So you should be planning ahead. It's really simple, man. But Cashman is constantly worried about PR rather than doing his job. The winter was when you should be addressing these needs. So you're not constantly in panic mode trying to fix your team in the summer. He did the same thing last year, man. I'm not getting at you, Duran. I'm just saying it in general. I appreciate the comments. Thank you, bro. Appreciate your support. Like last year, Cashman did the same thing. He left bullpen completely vacant. He left third base completely vacant. So he made a bunch of panic trades, and most of them haven't worked out. In fact, almost all of them haven't worked out. That's because he doesn't foresee issues. He's leaving it to the deadline to try and fix them. But then you're kind of in a hiding to nothing. McMahon was a disaster. Duvall, disaster. Jake Bird is a disaster. So you move on. Then you have Michael Kay saying, "Oh, he's done all this heavy lifting in the summer. He's done all this heavy lifting in the summer. He doesn't need to do anything this winter." Bullshit. Right? That's that idea collapsed. Okay, so they fast forward to this summer, and the major moves that Cashman made is to just trade away the guys that he traded for last year because they were that much of a bust. Does that say to you that this GM is working well at his job? If you're trading away the people you traded for a year ago and you used as an excuse not to do anything this winter, it means you are bad at your job. He's bad at his job. It's as simple as that. He is bad at his job. None of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. They're just a constantly he's a constantly reactionary GM. Stevie B. Hopefully Volpe doesn't need to call Judge for an hour because he got demoted. Oh, trust me. I don't think we've seen the end of Volpe. Volpe is just like Jason Voorhees, man. He's gonna keep coming back, bro. He's gonna keep coming back. No, I mean Volpe is incredibly like privileged and entitled, and he knows he's got the ear of Aaron Judge, so no doubt he's gonna be on the phone to Aaron Judge and then Jazz, and they'll be on the phone for 2 hours, and see if he can work a way back into the team. I think Volpe knows his goose is cooked in New York. It better be. Volpe is crying his chicken parm tonight. Salute to Uncle Tats, man. Could everybody please give their love to Uncle Tats? He's had a long, hard day, and let's let our at least we have a decent GM. Our GM know that he is appreciated. So please, guys, you do that. Stevie B wants me to check out something that he sent me. I'm going to do that. I need something to cheer me up. Yes, I've seen this one before. The Yankees have agreed to trade Anthony Volpe to the Savannah Bananas in exchange for 2 TikTokers to be named later. Exactly. But remember, these 2 TikTokers have to hold water for Brian Cashman and the organization. These TikTokers have to be dancing, shaking their ass, and for Brian Cashman. It can't be any TikTokers or freaking YouTubers like this channel who cooks them. What a disaster, man. It's just an absolute disaster. The amount of teams that cooked you at the trade deadline is an embarrassment. So many teams had a better deadline than the Yankees. That's why there's no excuse for the Yankees here. There's no excuse. Like, you name it. Everyone in the division, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, and the Rays all had better trade deadlines than you. And you're the one that has a window. Oh, that window's long closed, by the way. I mean, that window's shut, dead shut, but it's like completely bolted shut. But apparently, you've got Aaron Judge's window and Garrett Cole's window to win a championship. You're the team that has that. The Red Sox don't have a window. And they going to get Adley Rutschman? It's just ridiculous, man. This is as I say, the Yankees don't have a direction. All right, let's see what Brian Cashman's got to say. It's gonna make me puke. But here's some of the quotes. Brian Cashman is asked how concerned he is about Judge not returning this season. That's a fair question on anybody's side. Is that possible? It's always possible that things don't go the way you want. Wow. We currently are still very optimistic that he's going to return, but there's challenges with that. Whatever that time frame is, getting his timing down, I can't rule out any of it. Oh, jeez. That's what I'm hoping for and holding on to. I'm holding on to. He doesn't have a clue. That's what he believes. That's what the doctors believe. It's always a moving target. Fucking hell. Whenever we reimage, we'll get a better idea. Yikes. Well, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why he didn't go and get anybody. It sounds to me like he's not convinced. I'm not convinced. And to be honest, I think they should just sit Judge the rest of the season anyway. But No doubt he'll use that as an excuse. Brian Cashman said the Yankees shopped in the bullpen aisle. Oh, oh, that's good. Sherman, the Yankees at the deadline failed to even shoot par. Thank you, Joe Sherman. They got 2 platoon bats when a right-hitting catcher and more pitching depth was also vital. This was not the behavior of a Death Star. Thank you, Sherman. Finally, bro. Finally. Sherman is cooking the Yankees. And there's a lot of normal people that normally are quite supportive of the Yankees just cooking them. Jake Asman saying one of the most pathetic days in Yankee history. Joe's McFly had been cooking Cashman, cooking them. NYYU did 24 hours, God bless them, covering this trade deadline. And I can only imagine how upset they were. Brian Cashman shopped in the bullpen aisle pretty heavily to no avail. Piss off. But of course, he pointed to Carlos and Rodon and Clark Schmidt as deepening our staff that way. God damn it. You are some liar. They're just lost, man. They're just lost. The thing is, the Yankees don't have a vision. The Yankees don't have a vision. Brian Cashman doesn't have a vision. Evan was on 6 hours. God bless you, brother. On NY Yankee Mania with Chef Nick. That'd have been a great show. Have to give me a link to that. I'll check that out. So we have so many people committed to covering the Yankees, and this is what they hand you. They do not care about their fan base. They do not care. They only care about PR. But the truth is, as I emphasized before, they don't really have a vision. They don't really have like a plan. Don't really have a path. They just kind of stumble. That's why I'm saying they're always kind of reactionary rather than proactionary. They don't really have any idea what they want to do. Like, what is it that they want to do? What is their raison d'etre? What is their vision for how they want to build a roster? What is their plan on how to win a World Series? How do they counter the Dodgers' moves of being a superhero team? How do the Yankees find their own path in order to compete with them? Do you know? Because every team within their own budgetary constraints obviously has to have a vision on how to attack your rivals and beat your rivals. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, Tampa Bay Rays. What did they do in order to compete and beat the Yankees to win divisions, etc.? And what they do? They have excellent use of analytics. Got Kevin Cash. They've got a really active ownership that are trying to maximize the only $100 million payroll they have the best way possible. Okay? Now, the Yankees, they should be doing the same thing. They should be looking at the Dodgers going, what can we do with our $300 million payroll? How can we compete with the Dodgers? They might not get the stars that the Dodgers do, but there's other players you can acquire that can compete. but they don't do it because they're lost. They don't have a vision. And by the way, the Rays are better than the Yankees with a $100 million payroll, with like a quarter of the payroll. They have a better team than the Yankees do. Better front office too. That's really bad. But the truth is, the Yankees don't have a vision. What is it? They're bringing in platoon bats? They've got an entire left-handed hitting roster? Most of the roster strikes out too much? Not enough on-base guys? Very little contact? Is that their vision? A haphazard bullpen? Is that your vision? Not having any idea how to develop prospects? Is that your vision? Austin Wells, Alex Sanchez, catcher, is that your vision? Like, it's just they don't really have a plan here. What was their purpose at this deadline? It just seems like panic, like haphazard, all over the shop. Let's see if we can add some guys quickly, wherever, whatever kind of fit. Like Garcia's great, good pickup, but he's a first baseman. So is Ben Rice. Negligible, really. Right? Ramos, fine, but what are you gonna do with Grisham, who you paid $23.5 million for? Bellinger, who you paid almost $40 million a year for. It's just it's haphazard and all over the place. He's kind of a platoon. He's a platoon outfielder. What are you gonna do with Spencer Jones now? Where's he gonna play when Bellinger's back? You know what I'm saying? This is kind of all over the place. We'll just kind of figure it out as we go along. But there's not a vision here, guys. I don't know what Brian Cashman wants to do. On an annual basis, I don't know what he wants to do. That's why I really do believe that he spends more time with hubris, PR, telling us how great he is, rather than just being silent and getting the job done. Theron's right here. The Rays are not silent and not shy in making trades. Cashman is. They do. This is what I agree with here. They do need to really double down with developing prospects and trigger a rebuild. That right. I think that's their only raison d'etre, just make the playoffs, and then when they fail, blame anything, any other, blame injuries, whatever they can use to as an excuse, they'll use. This year, I guarantee they'll use injuries. And this is the point. Making the playoffs is not what it was 10 years ago, when there was just one wild card team. Heck, when there was just like a one-game wild card playoff. Okay, making the playoffs, making the division series, it's more of an achievement. But making it when there's multiple wild card teams, and heck, the Blue Jays, who are below 500, are in last place, and they're only like 4.5 games out, less now. It's not a big deal making the playoffs. It's kind of hard to miss it. The Yankees are doing everything they possibly can to miss the playoffs this year. And they still have a good shot at making it, right? They're trying desperately to miss it. So it's kind of hard to miss the playoffs. You have to completely fucking tank, like the Mets. And by the way, the Mets had a better deadline than the Yankees did. They had an idea. They're in rebuild mode. Teams had far better ideas than what the Yankees did. The Yankees were just all over the shop, trying to make anything work. They struck out, and now they're in they're in PR mode right now. It's sad to see the state that the Yankees are in. Yeah, right. It's sad to see the state that the Yankees are in, man. They're better than this. Well, they should be, but the excuses that comes out of Cashman's mouth, I mean, it's nothing other than a liar. He's a politician. I'm glad that Joel Sherman cooked the Yanks because it's really unacceptable. Like, um, I really truly believe that we're in a lot of trouble, and it's sad to see. It really is. I take no pleasure in seeing it. Henry Lelaine, by the way, in exchange for Ramos, that's an overpay. Henry Lelaine surplus 13.5, Kent plus Kent, which is like a surplus of about 2.6. That's a 16-10 surplus. Ramos is worth just 9. 16-10, that's an overpay. Brian Cashman overpaid for Elliot Ramos. He overpaid for a platoon outfielder because he's in panic mode. They're just all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason for a lot of this stuff. So many other teams handed you your ass at the trade deadline, and Cashman failed. It's just a sign that Cashman is done. He has got to go. He has got to go. At the end of this year, he has got to go. There is no excuses anymore. It's sad, man. It's sad. But yeah, Donald Lane and Kent is an overpay. It's a massive overpay, bro. As I say, the surplus was 16-9 in terms of surplus. Lane alone was worth 13 plus. I don't know why I'm supposed to be celebrating that. You're massively overpaying for a platoon outfielder. He should be he should be like the freaking beast. That's a worry, man. That's a worry. I think he overpaid for him, but at this stage, Cashman knows that he had to do something. He had to bring in a righty bat. There was no excuses, so he did. So I mean, obviously, on paper, this offense is going to be significantly improved. If you want to look at a bright side amongst a whole heap of bullshit, on paper, the offense should be a lot better. I mean, Ramos can hit, Garcia can hit. You got Ben Rice, he'll come round. You got Cody Bellinger. I'm not counting Aaron Judge just now. Jazz can apparently hit. I've not seen it this year, but he technically can hit sometimes. And then Lombard, and you're gonna get some power from the right side, and Ramos and Lombard, all right. Catcher's fucked, and third base is fucked, but you can't fill every hole, I suppose. Pause. Unless you're Bonnie Blue. But yeah, I mean, I suppose that's something. But the trade-off is the bullpen's a mess. I don't even know where they're going to look at bullpen. How are they going to upgrade this bullpen now? And God knows what they're going to do with Volpe. So Volpe's been sent down. He'll be on the phone to Aaron Judge crying, no doubt. He'll be back up very, very soon. If the Yankees were smart, I'd have Volpe working out at second base, whether he likes it or not. See if there's some upside there. He's got an arm of a 96-year-old dead person, so maybe it'll look better at second than short. And at least adds a little bit of versatility and adds trade value because you need to trade his ass. All right, Stevie B is giving his grades. Why don't you guys give me in the chat? Give me your trade grades. I'm giving him a D minus. Garcia trade is an A. I agree with that. Ramos is a C minus. Yeah, okay. Getting rid of Duvall. I thought the trade is just kind of an indictment on Brian Cashman. I don't know if I'm supposed to celebrate anything. Got nothing in return for him, but at least he traded him away, I suppose. Bird. Okay, I mean that was part of the Garcia trade, and that was good. So I'll give that a positive trade grade. But I guess the way I would break it down is, yeah, okay, I'll give Garcia trade as an A. Like, there's not really any downside. You gave nothing away. Giovanni Cruz and Jake Bird, and a couple of guys you just drafted. That's a nothing. That's fine. That's a good trade there. I'll give that an A. Ramos, it's an overpay for me. He's good, but is he good enough for you to be trading your top 5 prospect for someone who's kind of a platoon outfielder? I doubt that, but he is at least controllable. I don't know. I'm very iffy on that. I guess C minus is fair. C minus, D plus. I think we overpaid, but he is good. So yeah, okay, C minus. Duvall trade. It's an indictment on Brian Cashman. We got nothing for him. At least he's gone. But who's replacing him? I'm giving it a D. I think the trade sucks. Failing to get a catcher, F. Failing to get any bullpen arms, F. So F, C minus, A. Overall, D minus for Brian Cashman. So that's my grade on it. I think it's a D minus. It wasn't all a disaster. It's just the plan was a disaster because there was no plan. It was really haphazard. There was not really any rhyme or reason to a lot of the stuff they're doing. So yeah, Stevie B's high on Kent. I was higher on Lane. I think that was an overpay. But the Yankees have no leverage in negotiations. Like, had you got this guy maybe in the winter and you had time all winter to negotiate that deal down, excellent. You know, you probably wouldn't have had to have given up your top 10 prospects, 2 top 13 prospects for him. But as it stands, you know, it just feels like you're kind of in panic mode, you know, because you overpaid for Cody Bellinger, who's now hurt for 4 to 6 weeks, and you don't really have a backup to him. You failed to develop Dominguez because you've had him play left and right and all over the shop, and he's pretty much bad everywhere. So you're kind of in panic mode there. You paid Trent Grisham $23.5 million, which you never should have done. You overpaid for center field. And so your response to that is, all right, let's get a platoony bat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't really feel like they're planning anything. They're proactive. They are reactive. They're reacting to shit going haywire. So that's why I'm giving it a negative trade. The player himself is good, but the circumstances and the lack of planning and the lack of leverage in the negotiations says to me, I can't give this a great grade. Garcia, square peg and round hole. He's a first baseman. That isn't a very good first baseman. He's got a great bat though, so that'll be fun. But I don't know. I think that honestly, the best thing they could probably do is just to turn Ben Rice into a catcher. But not at this stage. You know, he's not been a catcher all year. It's all over the place, man. Everything is all over the place. It's a scattergun approach. There's not really any planning, and they're more worried about PR than championships. Doron Hill era is over. He done. How is Hill doing in AAA, by the way, guys? Because he looked awful this year. Is Luis Hill like doing anything down in AAA, or is he really completely cooked? And that's sad. I'm not going to Monday morning quarterback this one. I love Luis Hill, and it's just sad what's happened to him. Like the shit has hit the fan with Louis Hill like completely. Has he been doing anything in AAA, or is it just bad? I know he's got a 6 ERA in the majors. Let's see here. Is there any information how he's doing down there? I'm getting Stevie B is on in charge for me. I'll send you a link so you can see. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I mean, I know that the Heel has been awful with 6 ERA in the majors, but I'm hoping that maybe he looks like he could possibly do something down in AAA that you can maybe call him up. Because this thing is all the way cooked. So depressing, man. So depressing. I'll have to give the captain's blog a huge shout out here. And this is exactly what I've been saying for the entirety of this podcast. George Lombard is being promoted to distract from the fact that Cashman blundered the trade deadline. Facts. Thank you, Captain's blog. You are doing the Lord's work with that, because that is the fact. That's why I'm not excited about him being called up. I should be, but I'm not, because it's purely a smokescreen to cover for Brian Cashman's incompetence. Stevie B, thank you, brother. 5.75 ERA triple. Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. Yeah, that's done. He's done. That's sad. He's done. He is done. Damn, man. That's sad what happens to these guys. I've got no answer to this. I got no answer to this. How does so many of these fail miserably? It's mind-boggling to me. Right, let's have a look and see what the situation is here. Yeah, in Scranton, 5.79 ERA. In just one start, pitched 4 2/3 innings. Is that it? Damn. Damn. Total disaster at the major league levels. 6.05 ERA, completely cooked. It's sad what's happened to Luis Hill. Really sad. I don't know if that can be saved. It's bleak. It's a bleak situation, really. I would love to give a much happier podcast. I was hoping that we could have had at least Adley Rushman to come in. We could have something to be optimistic about, but I don't know what to be optimistic about here. The best thing that's happened here is that the Lombard situation, the Lombard being called up and Volpe being sent down. That should normally be a great day, but I can't celebrate it because I know why they've done this. They're doing this to cover for the incompetent general manager who's getting destroyed in the press. And so his fragile ego can't take being lampooned and shredded and being embarrassed on a national scale, which he is right now, and he knows it. So he's using Lombard to save his ass again, which he's been doing for numerous years. He uses prospects to save his ass. This is a sign of a very bad general manager. It is done. Yes, Joel Sherman was cooking him. This is done, guys. It is done. It's finished. At the end of this year, Cashman has got to go. He has got to go. Let's all support Lombard. I wish him all the best, but he is in an awful situation right now. There is no leadership. Aaron Boone does not know how to develop prospects. There is no culture that helps prospects. There is no culture here right now that's going to help and cultivate young talent. Just look at what Aaron Boone has done to prospects to date since 2018. Let's look at it. Gleyber Torres, beast of a second baseman, moved to shortstop. Completely flatlined his career. Then had to move him back to second base in time for the playoffs. He never quite recovered from that. Yankee incompetence. Gary Sanchez, coddled, pat on the back. Oh, it's okay, baby. It's okay. Mess with his stance 6,000 times. Traded for Josh Donaldson. He had to go to another organization to save his career. Peraza. Boone didn't like him. Going to Anaheim. Peraza's better than Volpe, by the way. This is what happens to these prospects. Aaron Boone has no idea what to do with them. Jason Dominguez. Played him in left field. He couldn't play left field. Tried to play him in right field. He can't play in right field either. And his offense is falling apart. Great job. They don't have a plan right now, guys. Boone doesn't know how to develop these guys. Volpe. I've been saying this for so long, right? I know Volpe is entitled and he's a sniveling little prick. I get that all. But the truth is, there is no culture for Volpe to be good. There's no culture that would improve Volpe. Because Aaron Boone has spent so much time blowing smoke up his ass, telling him he's elite, there is no reason for Volpe to get better at his job. If Volpe is throwing the wrong base and it bounces 6 times to get to first base whenever he throws, and he bats sub 690 OPS all the time, and yet your manager keeps saying, oh, you're elite, you're fantastic, you're amazing. What was the reason for Volpe to feel the need to improve? God knows he must have been confused and crying about being in AAA because he's been told he's elite. Boone literally screamed last year, banging on the table telling us he's elite. So Volpe, God bless him, he's in AAA. He must be confused why he got sent down. Why did I get sent down? Boone tells me I'm elite all the time. There's no culture for him to improve. Where's the culture for Jazz to not act like a freaking imbecile? There's no culture there. There's no leadership. There is no leadership, guys. So, in what way is Lombard going to be helped out here? You see what they're doing to Spencer Jones? Boone is having to play Spencer Jones only because he can't platoon Max Schumann anymore for him. He's been pinch hitting him for Volpe and doing all kinds of shit. He doesn't want to play Spencer Jones, but Spencer Jones has had to play incredibly well recently in order just to get a chance, despite Aaron Boone. This is not great. This is not a great situation for young prospects to get an opportunity. The Yankees have no idea what to do with them. So George Lombard's in a hiding for nothing, man. The infield's a mess. Cashman's just calling out to save his ass instead of having a real genuine plan. And there is no culture right now that Aaron Boone has, because he doesn't have any leadership. He doesn't have any hold on that locker room whatsoever. And there's very poor leaders in that locker room as it stands. Without Stanton, without Bellinger, and without Aaron Judge, the only leader I can think of within that locker room right now is Garrett Cole. But he mostly focuses on pitchers. But there's no leaders there. Austin Wells, he literally just smiles the entire time. He's not a leader. He's just happy he somehow got a job. Because in any other organization in the sport, he would have been non-tendered and he'd be unemployed right now. Any other organization. Any. If he was a Rocky and he had a 510 OPS with a 150 batting average, he would have been cut. But because it's Brian Cashman's favorite son, he's somehow held on to the job. And they're making up some excuse that he's this fantastic catcher. He's not this fantastic catcher. What the fuck are you talking about? So, like, the culture is a mess right now. There's no leaders. Aaron Boone's a terrible leader. Everyone knows that he doesn't have any leadership capabilities. So, this is a serious situation, and I just don't think it's the right culture for Lombard to develop. What are they going to do here? Are they going to platoon him? You're going to platoon him with Caballero? What are they going to do? They can't do that. I'll be sink or swim for Lombard, man, and I wish him all the best because he's in an awful situation because the infield around him is chaos. It's in complete chaos. And by the way, Cashman is a liar because Cashman said today the infield, there was a high bar to improve on this infield. He's a liar and gaslighter. A high bar. Below average third baseman, below average shortstop, below average second baseman, below average catcher. And you're telling me that that's a high bar infield? He's a lie. He lies to every one of you. I don't buy it. And nor should you. He is doing this purely because he's a PR merchant. In fact, it just makes me think of something because all he does is just speak a whole jet stream of bullshit. This is what I got to say to Brian Cashman. You know what? There's a jet stream of bullshit coming out of your mouth, my friend. Amen, Larry David. Say it again for the people in the nosebleeds. For the ones in the right field bleachers. There's a jet stream of bullshit coming out of your mouth, my friend. That's all Brian Cashman does. He's just a jet stream of bullshit. Everything that comes out of Brian Cashman's mouth is a jet stream of bullshit. Oh, I tried to shop in that aisle. Fuck knows what aisle he was shopping in. Walmart? Oh, it's a high bar to clear this infield. You're a fucking lying gas bag. Oh, there was no market opportunities to improve at catcher, even though Adley Rushman and Hicks went to the same division. Oh, we certainly shopped in the aisle of bullpen, but You know, there was no market opportunities. Oh shit! There was not one single goddamn bullpen arm you could find. I defy any of you to tell me this isn't a World Series team. There is a jet stream of bullshit coming out of your mouth, and you're not my friend. You are a prick. You are the prick's prick. Liar. Absolute liar. 3 frickin' stooges. How somewhere in Europe, undisclosed location, Aaron Boone with Brian Cashman's hand up his ass because he's a fucking puppeteer. Aaron Boone, the little puppet, going, "Oh, I'm really excited. Thank you, Brian. I love you." Fucking bullshit. The way that he managed tonight was disgraceful. Disgraceful. Yarborough for that extra out for the no reason in the 8th inning gives up a triple. Oh shit, I'm gonna go with Chiavelli then. Chiavelli gives up batting practice, and only down 6 runs do you go to Fernando Cruz, who's your normal setup man. Now Fernando Cruz had to pitch the rest of the 8th inning. And because you were so fucking incompetent, and they know how now they can't use Fernando Cruz probably tomorrow. Because you wasted them in an inning when you're down 6 runs. Because you have no other arms, because you can't manage a bullpen, and you let Chiavelli out to die. And Brian Cashman sitting there, that fucking egg-headed prick, has imploded this organization. Imploded them. And all he does is come out afterwards basically saying, instead of saying, "I'm sorry," comes up with all kinds of bullshit excuses. And the last little one here is, our expectations for you were low, but holy fuck. And nothing could sum up my thoughts on Brian Cashman better. Because anyone who knows me knew coming up to this deadline, I didn't really have any expectations. I thought they'd maybe get in a catcher. I couldn't imagine a world in which they didn't get one. But I knew that this thing was cooked. This thing was always cooked. This thing was always cooked. When he failed to do anything in the winter, I knew this thing was cooked. But holy crap, Cashman. You even managed to fuck that up. My expectations were completely like rock bottom for you. And you managed to get worse. You managed to go lower. It's a gift. It's a gift. It only takes incompetence of the highest order. Holy crap, Sanchez hitting better. Betting well. Beautiful. You've been spot on, Donald. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. No, there's no chance. There's no World Series here. Here's a good one, Donald. Cashman can be my pole bear so he can let me down more. Yeah. Bro. Like, could you imagine, like, what could you imagine if he was if he was a captain of a ship? He'd crash the fucking boat, and then he'd come out to the press and say, "We made it to our destination." It might not be the destination, but we made it to a destination. There was just no market opportunity for me to get to where I needed to go. We still landed. Nobody died. It was a success. Great job. Really happy with my process. Delighted in my process. Oh, everybody had to be evacuated? Oh, no. That was all part of the plan. It was all part of the plan. Oh, my boat is sunk to the bottom of the Atlantic. Honestly, all part of the plan. Really happy with how things go. That's what you'd be like. If he was the pilot to fucking Indian Airlines and the plane disappears, he'd come out afterwards and say, "I'm really, really proud of our process. Yeah, it's great. All great. No, nothing to see here. Fucking unbelievable, bro. Dude, he is. He sinks the Titanic and he'd come out afterwards. He's that Italian fucking prick that crashed the cruise ship. You saw that Netflix documentary. That's Brian Cashman. Crashes the cruise ship, and he escaped first. Let everyone else die, but he escaped first, and he comes out and says that everything was fine. That's Brian Cashman. He's a PR merchant. He absolutely crashes boats left, right, and center, and he comes out and tells you everything's great. But amazingly, he has the press to tell us how great he is as well, which is outrageous. But even now, after this horrible deadline, finally, the people that have been telling us to shut the fuck up have all start to cook him. That's terrible for Cashman. Even when his laptop loyals turned against him, you know Cashman's done a terrible job. When Joel Sherman and C-Mac and all these guys and there's media members all over the place that are saying, wow, you have fucked this up spectacularly. You know Cashman's really fucked it up. Amazing job, Cashman. Absolutely amazing. It's amazing he's still got a job. It's amazing. It's almost a gift, actually. Because you have to be a gift to be this incompetent for this long. And he has been ragingly incompetent for the last half dozen years, right? You have to be like, to be this deeply incompetent, but yet have a job for life to the point where your boss doesn't even pay attention and just lets you do it. And you still manage to convince people that you're a genius. What Cashman does well, he's great at, which is bullshitting. He is a Jedi master. The Death Star might be fucked, but he is a Jedi master of bullshit. There's a stream of bullshit coming out of your mouth, but it's true. He is a Jedi master of bullshit. His Death Star's fucked, but he is a Jedi master of bullshit. Remember when he said this? Oh, I don't need Bryce Harper. I've got Aaron Hicks. God help me. Rays win, down another game. Good job, Rays. Let's go. Excellent. A real organization. My God. Oh, we don't need that. Why would we need Bryce Harper? We've got Aaron Hicks. Oh, shit. That's fantastic. That's your GM, people. And he's never going to leave either. I don't even know if he's going to leave. No, he's not going to leave. Why would he leave? He's got a job for life. There is no reason for him to walk away at the end of this year. He's got a job for life. Any other team that he goes to, he'd actually have an owner that would actually oversee what he does. He's got it made here. As I say, he is a skilled bullshitter, right? If he goes to like Colorado and Pittsburgh, where there's like no press, he can't manipulate the press. If he went to an organization, any organization, even if he went to the Red Sox, people would be paying attention to his performance. But here, he's got it made. No one gives a shit. No one gives a shit. Just apart from the fans that are pissed. But no one else gives a shit, so he's fine. Job for life. I was fantastic 20 years ago. That's his excuse. I was great 20 years ago. Excellent. What are you doing now? Oh, I've completely sunk the shit. I fucked it. Completely fucked it. But I was really good 20 years ago. Oh, great. Well, here's another 3-year contract then. Have you been in any World Series over the last, 17 years? Yeah, I've been once. Oh, great. Fantastic. How much money have you spent to get there? Oh, multiple billions. Great job. Great job. How many championships have you won in Aaron Judge's window? None. Ah, well, here's the new contract then. Fucking hell. Bro is the captain. He's the captain of that. He's the Italian captain of that cruise ship. They crashed the fucking cruise. Escaped first, and then came out saying everything's great, and he did everything right. That's Brian Cashman. We need new voices too. Stale. Promote Cashman. Getting you promote him where? He's already the owner. He's the GM and owner. What the fuck? Promote him to what? El Azaraja fucking Cashman? Fucking Pope Cashman? Like, where do you promote him to? Can I promote him into the sun? How about that? Get him out, please. God, please get him out. Fire Fishburne. I fucking hate him, Fishman. And Boone, he's useless. There's no one not a more pathetic cuck than Aaron Boone. Promote to Captain Pan. Honestly, bro, promote Cashman into the sun. Send him to Mars to see if there's any life in Mars. Because there's no life in the Yankees. That's for sure. Mike Fishman is a goddamn clown as well. The whole thing's a clown show. And I don't care if they make the wild card. I don't care. Because the Yankees are better than that. They should be. But until they get higher standards, and that's their ceiling. So I'm not going to be waving pom-poms because they get the first or second wild card. Most likely the second. I'm not going to wave pom-poms over it. It's a disgrace. The Yankees are disgraced. Their general manager is a disgrace. Their manager is a disgrace. The analytics guys are a disgrace. This thing is fucked. It is fucked. This thing's on fire. He's crashed the ship. It's like Step Brothers. Boats and hose crashes the frickin' boat. Oh, so can I get funding for a new one? That's Brian Cashman. He's crashed the boat. He's crashed it, bro. This thing is crashed. It's done. It's cooked. Finito. Finito. They need a new boat, and they need a new freaking captain of that boat. He's got to go. Whatever happens, when the season ends, he has got to go. He's got to go. Steph Finch, I am not shocked, nor should you be. Neither am I. What up to everybody in the chat? It's been fun to rant for about a good solid 2 hours. I know it's late. I know it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and I know a lot of people will be going to work tomorrow. So for those that are catching this on the replay, I hope you enjoy it. Everyone watching now, please hit the like button. Could you guys please share it out? If you guys know any Yankee fans that are raging right now and disgusted and are looking for a channel that covers that kind of ranting, then please do point them out to the Yankified podcast. Because you're going to struggle to find a more straight to the point, truthful podcast than the Yankified podcast. I'll tell you that. Not to blow my own horn, but I don't fuck about. So if you guys like that, Share it out to your friends and family and all that stuff. Do all the good stuff. Hit that like button. Do all the good stuff. Uh, all right, Stevie B would like to have me on his show. Excellent. And vice versa, Stevie B. We'll sort that out. We'll get you on a Yankified, and we can cook Brian Cashman together. How about that? But yes, I'll definitely come on your show, etc. I really do appreciate people coming on in the DM saying, "Oh, I'd love to have you on the show." It really means a lot. It means you guys enjoy my stuff, so thank you. If you guys can hit the like button, share it out, do all the good stuff. Let's get this out there. We need to really start something. We need to start a movement, right? This is no longer acceptable. This is no longer acceptable. I'm going to be completely honest. This is no longer acceptable. Cashman is no longer fit for purpose. He's a malfunctioning GM, and all he does is he just bloviates excuses instead of looking to try and be the best possible GM he can possibly be. We deserve better as a fan base. We deserve better as an organization. We do. We deserve better as an organization. I mean, George would literally be rolling in his grave right now, seeing the state of his franchise. It's heartbreaking when you think about it. It's actually heartbreaking seeing the state of this franchise. It is actually heartbreaking. I'm angry and I laugh about it, and I think it's freaking. Sometimes it's just nothing but hilarious what the Yankees are doing right now. It's just so incompetent. There's no other way about it. You might as well laugh, but it's actually kind of heartbreaking because if you told like the 18-year-old me, the 19-year-old me, that in 20 years' time, I would be just destroying the Yankees, right? And mocking Brian Cashman and absolutely destroying every aspect of the organization, I wouldn't believe you. Because I looked up to the Yankees like nothing on earth when I was a teenager. I looked up at them like they were gods. I never once thought that I would ever not deeply love and respect the Yankees. But what they have done is a disgrace to the history of the organization. They're far too concerned about their image and about their own jobs, their own job security, rather than doing what's best for this franchise. It's very sad. I never thought I would get to that stage. I really, really never thought. I'm amazed. When we were winning every championship, heck, even when we weren't, but we were still a good team, I had no end of hope. But ever since this Aaron Boone disaster, and every year since, it's just gone worse, it's gone worse, and it's gone worse. The time is now for this to end. Let's just pray at the end of this fucking horrible season that Boone and Cashman are gone and the Yankees can start again. Because if they come back, then the horror will continue. There is no end in sight. They will not win a championship with these two in charge. They will not. It's impossible. It's impossible for the Yankees to win a championship with Cashman and Boone. One or the other has to go. Preferably both. It's as simple as that. That's my final thoughts. Everybody, stay safe. Have a good night. Please do as I say. Please hit that like button. We need to get the likes up, and it would certainly help get that out there. Let's get that algorithm going. We want more people to be looking at this stuff, and we want someone from the Yankee front office to come across this video. And I know that there are some fans out there that have had it. All right. Thank you, Stevie B. I really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone that stuck around. God bless. See you in the next show.